This is Lynn Starr. You can check out my latest project, Tierra, on all streaming platforms. You can also catch me performing live alongside 75 breweries at Barrel and Flow, September 11th in Pittsburgh, PA. Tickets on sale now at flowfest.beer.
All right, you're asking for it, so here it is. Listen to this.
I want you fucking laughing at we partners pod, kid. You understand? We in here drinking, singing, swinging, all that shit, dog. You sweating, getting wet, and all that.
All right. Welcome to a special live episode of the Drinking Partners Podcast. Yes, we are live out here at Two Frays. Can we get that? Can we get a Two Frays? Okay, I liked it. It was a little bit Catholic schoolish, but I liked it. Y'all heard the 2 Chainz before, but listen, if y'all don't know, I am half of your hosting tandem, Ed Bailey. I'm joined, as always, with my co-host, Dave Bracey. Say what up to the people.
What's good with you people? We are the Drinking Partners, and if you're looking for us, you can find us on epiccastnetwork.com/partnerspot. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, Google Play,
Googleable,
and Spotify under Drinking Partners. And you can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at PartnersPod. We I don't know, how many years? 6, 7 years into this?
Shit, we doing it by years and not episodes.
Couple hundred
anymore.
Episodes. We done lost count, but it's been a while. But we will continue to ask you, as we have been asking you for years, please hop on iTunes, hop on Facebook, rate and review. That's how we know when we're doing well. That's how we let others know that we're doing well, and that's how we continue to do well. So please hop on iTunes, hop on Facebook, rate and review.
Listen, if you're listening online, you told us you love us. If you here, you probably fuck with us because you here, all right? So we need you to please, at the click of a button, please tell the internet, please tell the world, tell everybody about Drinking Partners. Tell us what you like from us, what you want to see from us, what you saw that you enjoyed, all that shit. We need feedback because we do it for the people, and we are in an earthquake. I don't know what that was, but look, we back outside. Can we just clap just for being back outside? We back outside, man. So look, we back outside. If you've been following us, if you've been listening to us, in lieu of rates and reviews, we do accept shots of Hennessy, all right? I don't know if they have it here. We can get it on tap here, but we do accept shots of Henny. You look like you on some Henny right now, sir. Hey, you want to go in? Slick it back, bro. It's popping up. You get it together.
Get that brown back there?
He off that hen rock. So look, we always accept shots of Hennessy. We back outside. We're very happy to be back outside, and we will be outside, especially on September 10th through the 12th at Barrel and Flow Fest. Just let go.
Yo, September 11th, 9/11, try to remember, all right? It is Barrel and Flow Fest. We got 75 brewers coming from all across the country, around the world. We got some Canadians, if we can sneak them in, coming through.
We international with it.
You know what I mean? We got 150 total vendors, 4 stages full of black music, man, 25, 35 black artists. We got live art, musicians, beer. We've also got the digital portion of it. So if you're not going to make it here, if you're feeling a little, about the situation, we got DigiFlow. That means there are 16 collaboration beers that are being brewed between 32, 34 breweries through Tavour, black-owned collabs that'll be shipped out to 25 states, straight to your door. So you order it in the mail, get the beer to your door, $10, log online, and you can catch all that entertainment from your home. It'll be up for 3 months. So maybe, you came to the fest, you missed a couple of those stages, go home, watch that shit for the next 3 months. That's going to get you through that fall, bro. That October, that November is going to be rough. So holla at us, on that DigiFlow. So if you're looking for tickets, barrelandflow.com, flowfest.beer. We got an app. Download the app, man. Keep up to date. There's not a lot of people that yo, man, this app is kind of crazy. It's an app. I don't know how to say it. But I bought these glasses just so I could talk about the app. You know what I mean? These is my ask me about my app glasses, all right? You know what I mean? Download that. Keep up to date with all the new drops. We got a black beer directory around there. So if you're looking for black-owned breweries across the country, you got that up there. We got a flow market with black-owned businesses on there that you can frequent, and a job board. You're looking to get hired in this beer industry? Download the app. We got job listings on there as well. So shout out to the folks and whatnot over that work hard that helped develop that. And man, get on that.
Hey, black music, black art, black beer, black food, black people. But it's for everybody,
black.
right? We don't exclude anybody. It's for
At all.
everybody. And especially for those who can't make it, you can get online, but y'all can make it. Y'all outside with us. Y'all are here at Two Frays, and we are very excited to be here. And we actually got a special guest because we're going to be doing got some effects. Got my man Buzzy in the back. Shout out to Epicast. But look, we're doing, this is new for us.
Yeah.
We got like a live tasting going on. So give them some horns for the live tasting. Like, we feel sedity. I don't have anything to sedify me. I'm just a regular dude, but I don't wear glasses. But we are at Two Frays, and we're sitting here with owner of Two Frays, Mike Onofray, in the building. Say what up to the people.
Hey, hello. Thanks for having me. Thanks for being here. You guys are the best podcast on the internet.
Thank you. All right, so that's it. That was Mike Onofray.
All right.
Welcome.
And we're going to wrap this up. That was it. We're the best. Thank you for coming.
We the best. Who? We. But so for those, I know everybody here, they come to Two Frays. It's killing it. We're in Garfield, man, so we appreciate you being here. It's wonderful outdoor space. And if you can get a good outdoor space in Pittsburgh, like you definitely doing something. But for those who are listening or those who may not be as familiar, just give us a little bit of a background on Two Frays and how you got into brewing.
Yeah, thanks. So we, the longer version is we definitely were home brewers in the past. Started with home bringing home. We are both engineers by trade, and then as we kind of worked through our real jobs, we decided we kind of wanted to start our own business. And what better business than the product that we met over and that we enjoy with friends and socialize all the time with, and that's beer. We decided we wanted to start our own business with beer, and then when we were looking for a spot here in Pittsburgh, like, it was really important to be in a walkable neighborhood. We needed, definitely, you spoke to the outside space. Right. Like, that was critical. Top 4, top 3 of the criteria to be part of this spot is we needed to have the outside space. So and then, from there, it just was about opening during COVID, which was tough. But yeah, we just wanted to make a really walking neighborhood, outside space place that was inviting to everyone. It was a little bit different than what traditionally maybe the breweries look like around the nation, and do our best to really invite everyone to be here, like create a space that's more inviting and more welcoming, and just try to do our best to serve everyone we can.
No, you're definitely doing it. I mean, I'm here, so you invited.
Thank you for being
right?
here.
When we look amongst the crowd, there's some people we ain't seen in breweries before. We're like, all right, so people feel comfortable coming in this show. So it's great.
I did not personally invite most of the Negroes that are in the crowd right now, which is not a thing that I can say about most breweries that I walk into. Yeah, I mean,
that phrase, most of the Negroes in the crowd. Can we just get some horns for that?
Yeah.
Just most of well, he not on the. See, you off your shit, bro?
Wah, wah. How's it go?
So, I mean, so I guess what are some of the challenges that you typically see opening up a brewery versus the challenges that you see through a pandemic? Because that's like, I mean, you guys, you've been here for a couple of months now? 2 months, maybe less than?
I think we're sitting at 7 weeks.
About 7 weeks,
yeah.
Right? So, I mean, you opened up like in the in the thick of it, right?
Right.
You know what I mean, like right after the vax drops, like, I mean, so what are some of the challenges that were, I guess, unique to the pandemic? I mean, I'm asking you that as if you've opened up multiple breweries and it's like, oh, well, this is the one that, I mean, but like, what were some things that you were like, yo, because I know just even like putting on events and just talking to folks, I feel like everybody could just blame shit on the pandemic now.
Yeah,
I mean, motherfuckers just drop off for like weeks now and be like, oh, it's the pandemic. And I mean, ooh, COVID. Like, they'll just make up some shit. You just gotta, the rules are different. It's the Wild West now. I mean, we don't abide by the same laws anymore that we used to. You used to expect timely, like communications, and now it's like everybody's mental health, right? I mean, and I'm not saying it ain't, but it's just weird now. We gotta
careful. Tread lightly with that, bro.
No. Listen,
don't get us canceled. We just got the Two Frays.
Listen, mental health is a real thing, but that's the thing is that we're, as a society, we're all going through this, right? I mean, we are. This is post-traumatic shit. Not even post. We still in it, right? So I mean, what are some of the things that
some cities?
Yeah, I mean, shit, them numbers. You know what I mean? So like, what is it? What is it that you saw that like was a little bit like, God damn?
So I think the big thing was just the whole shutdown. Like we had started to like we bought the property and we ordered equipment, and then things just stopped, and so construction stopped, and then once things kicked back into gear, everything was slow, everything was delayed, and then an excuse called COVID was just an excuse all the time. So a 3-month project turned into 9 months, and it was absolutely difficult to try to launch a brewery. And also then we wanted to open safely. We wanted to make sure that whenever people came, so the first 3 weeks we were really open, which is not part of that 7 weeks that I said. The first 3 weeks we were open, we were just doing can sales because we wanted everybody to feel safe coming into our space. We didn't really know that it was, what was the vaccine response going to be, or was everybody going to get the vaccine? So we spent 3 weeks just selling cans, and it was probably the smartest thing we did, just to get the brand out there. We got the beer out there. Our staff was safe. Their customers were safe. And then when we felt comfortable that we could bring people inside, we did. And that really was a response to like, thank you for being vaccinated kind of a thing. We feel safer. And so, but that was that launching or building a business during COVID kind of sucked. It sucked. And then what we learned though, like good thing is like people like cans. And so we are much more of a can delivering business or a can producing business than we ever thought we would be, because people take our beer home with them. And that's wonderful. Like you to go home with, come and have a beer, maybe 2 beers, and then take those beers home with you to share with your neighbors or to share with your significant other in the backyard or whatever. That's fantastic. And I think that that's one of the positive things, if there is, like, that's a touchy, watch what we say, but it's a positive thing. Like, we've become, I think, our little bubbles and our little cliques or communities that we built during COVID. The cans is one of those things that kind of came out of it, that we can take this shit home and enjoy it at home together and have a little social network there. So that was a good thing.
Adaptability is big, right? And when you ask that question, that's actually interesting, because so much of the craft experience is the brewery. That brewery experience, you come, you see folks, you see educated folks, you get a better conversation with folks than you do at a typical bar. We're pushing to, make these tap rooms more diverse, but then all of a sudden that's taken away from you. People aren't here. So you got to really lean on the beer. Like, your beer's got to be good. Like, so how much pressure is that? Because you're like, I can't sell you no experience. I'm just giving you, it's just the product. It's just the beer, fam.
So my wife is laughing at me because it's everything. So for the guy who half owns it and the guy who has to make it, it's everything. It's goddamn everything. It's tough. So especially in the city where, we want to make product that's as diverse as our neighborhood is. And like we're located here in a diverse neighborhood on purpose. We want to make
Y'all
sure that
got black kids like in the backyard of your brewery. Like,
you got to drive.
This is riding bikes.
Yeah, they're right. You got to drive slow in the alley because there's kids on bikes. You've got to make sure that when the garbage guys come back, they clean up you got to clean up the glass because there's kids on bikes back there. We live in a neighborhood that there's a lot of people around us who don't look like me, and that's wonderful. And we got to. So we like, back to the liquid. We got to serve and make good liquid that is diverse as the neighborhood around us. And there's a ton of pressure to not just make a whole bunch of IPAs. And frankly, like, IPAs are kind of easy. And like Day, every time Day comes and visits us, he's like, "Give me the Kolsch," and because he likes it. And I'm super humbled by that, because it's a relatively soft, easy Kolsch. It's just yellow beer, but we did, I think, a pretty good job. And I think that it's reached a lot of people, from people who don't drink craft beer to the beer Gucci beer nerds.
No, I got the Kolsch. It's a good entry beer. It's not harsh. It's not too hard. It's not too heavy.
It's an entry level beer. I mean, if you have an idea of what beer is, it elevates that. You know what I mean? It's familiar but better. And that's a nice way to kind of like come in.
And you can drink it on your lunch break. People, read the guidelines at your work. They typically have a clause about how much alcohol you can consume at lunch. A Kolsch is a good one. That's just a tip from Ed Bailey. You're welcome.
So what are some of the, and not just your business, right? Right. Businesses in general can take some notes, because typically, whenever you see a brewery and a coffee shop, right? Those are the two things. Those are the harbingers of gentrification, right? You get a coffee shop, you get a brewery, all the niggas is gone. You know what I mean? Ain't no we
drink coffee now.
But the people that they bring it in for all that don't. You know what I mean? They typically hire the friends. They like. You know what I mean? It'd be East Liberty, right? Lawrenceville, right? You know what I mean? It's the whole thing. What have you done coming in differently? What are some of the steps that you've taken to kind of, and you're continue to take, to kind of not be, East Liberty 3.0?
We don't want to be East Liberty. We don't want to be Lawrenceville. No offenses to either of those neighborhoods, but we don't want that. When we moved into this space,
I meant all offense to that. But okay.
when we moved into the space, like when we were looking for places to put this brewery, it was very important that we did not displace anyone. We took this building that was going to crumble down, and we kind of fixed it. It was not a displacement. It was not a, it's a let me go back to the beginning here. By being here, we will be gentrifying the neighborhood. Like, we cannot help that.
Thank you for saying that.
We cannot help the fact that we are bringing a white person's product to the neighborhood. And we're going to do everything we can, including so when we bought the building, we didn't displace anyone and we didn't push anyone out. That was really important as part of the criteria. We got really lucky with this space. And then going forward, like, we hired Stephanie, the perfect person to hire. Like, and she's the one who brought you guys.
Or the best producer in the city. I don't know if anybody.
Don't hide now. It's audio. Why are you hiding your face?
She's blushing.
There's no video happening here.
So all of our, when we do spend and we do outreach, when we do marketing, it's to try to be as local as possible. And so when you look at a typical night here, it's still going to be mostly white people. And we're working hard to hire, we're over 60% women. That's not going to help the people of color percentage. We've got to work on that. We're working on, when we spend marketing money and when we spend time, when Stephanie's working, she's working very locally. And locally is, to the community who's behind us and around us. We're just doing our best not to be, we are going to gentrify this neighborhood by being here. We're trying to lessen the effect as much as possible and being as inviting as possible. Like the crowd that we see tonight is just like what Fresh Fest and Barrel and Flow is like. It gives me goosebumps because it is the best festival on the planet. And it's so when we look at the crowd tonight, this is what we want. We want to see people of color. We want to see people who don't always come to this place. We want to invite them to come here. We hope they like the beer. We hope that they come because it's inviting and because the people are nice to them. We don't want to we want to create a safe space, welcoming space, and then also have crushable, good fucking beer.
Yeah, I think having women is super important because, again, it's very male dominated.
Super male dominated.
And women are the folks that will kind of reach out beyond their,
we go where women go. That's
right,
where he's going.
That's it, right?
If you got a bunch of women there, you'll bring any type. You're going to see Asians. You're going to see Jamaicans. You're going to see everybody here. You got a bunch of women out front.
Right? That's it. So we ain't got a whole lot more time.
No, we talked about that liquid and this liquid.
Yeah, let's get into some of the, so, and you as an engineer, do you cook at home? Do you chefing?
I used to cook at home and then we build a brewery. There's no time for that.
But you
here you go trying to end the marriage. Don't get in their personal business. She over there with her arms folded. No.
I made rice today.
But you typically what I notice from brewers, they're either engineers, chefs, or a combination of the two. You came in as an engineer, but there's flavor involved here.
Yeah.
So were you cooking at home? Were you get some?
Yeah, the engineering part of me is definitely designed a criteria where when for everything we make, even the saison that's in and out, Drew came up with our taproom manager. Drew came up with this recipe of not even came up with the recipe, just described it to say he wanted a saison and he wanted these this lemongrass tea hops. And we designed to his requirements of taste. And then we have to, the engineering part then kicks in of we got to produce this much volume at this much ABV, and there's a sugar process and temperature. So for me, it's not about, the cooking part is secondary. It's the engineering part that comes first. Okay, let's make the plan, and then let's build that process around it.
So tell us about this liquid that we have right now.
Yeah,
can you tell? You had to check it out.
I was going to
ask if you can look at the.
Did you hear what he just? First of all, did you just hear how he explained how he do it? He got notes. This guy got a clipboard on the podcast. This is amazing.
We have not had a clipboard. Out of 200, 300 some episodes, is the first clipboard that we've had.
Clipboard all night.
I'm sorry if that's a problem.
He checked in with me. He asked me for the spelling of my name as if it mattered. It's got nothing to do with nothing.
So, and underneath the clipboard though is the Hefeweizen recipe. If you want that, it's right here.
Oh, so you got the whole recipe.
It's all right.
You could tell me. I can't make it. Does everybody have their taster still? I know we've been.
Yeah. So let's raise a glass.
Can you drink on the job? Get you one. Why you sitting back there okay? All right, I ain't gonna get you in trouble.
So you pouring the second one.
Oh, see. All right, don't indict yourself too much.
So before we start, there's a little bit of this is the edutainment part. So here's how we're gonna do this, and we're not gonna go through every step let me first qualify this as we are all individuals. We're all very different. What we say or what I say as even like the design of this beer is not what you're going to taste, because every person's tongue and mouth and nose are going to be different.
I do too much drugs to taste all the shit, right? You know what I mean? Like, so my shit is real dull. So I just be like, is that what it is, right? And you just got to shake and nod. And now you're a beer expert. You just be like,
Yeah.
that is lemongrass. Now you're an expert.
Right. I mean, and that's why we make like 9 beers on our list right now, is because everybody's tastes and preferences are different. So it's not important that whatever I say is what you experience. That's the first thing. There are 5 senses here. We all have 5 senses. We're going to look at this beer and see the clarity, because, you know, in this day and age, there's all the clarity of the beers is going to be very different. We're going to smell the beer. We're literally going to smell it and think about what it tastes like or what it smells like. We're going to taste it. We're going to hold it in our mouth, maybe swish it, feel it.
And then freaky, bro.
Sorry.
And I'm definitely
Beer is a
I'm
very
about to start
intimate-
going to bars telling women, like, listen, whatever I say, it's not important to what you go experience. I'm going to say I killed it.
So we're going to taste it, and everybody's taste is going to be different. You're supposed to swallow it without opening your mouth. You're supposed to, like, breathe out. And then we're going to feel the mouthfeel in your mouth. You want to, like, keep going on this. We're going to feel the mouthfeel of the beer in your mouth.
I see how you got the ladies in here.
Yeah, right. And then the most important thing is like the 5th sense is like that we haven't talked about is hearing. We're going to listen to what our neighbors and our buddies and our friends and our wives or whoever are going to say about the beer. Like, it's a conversation. We're going to hear what they have to say. That's the 5th. Like, it's all 5 senses to do this little tasting. Okay.
That's actually profound. We never really discussed
this
that
whole
part of
time we've been doing this fucking podcast. That's the first time anybody has ever told us what we should be doing for this tasting. All we've been doing is guzzling it and then waking up in the morning and was like, "Did you like it?" Like, that's how we taste beer.
So like this,
like, is you alive? That's how we taste beer. Like,
I think it's an important part of like this place. Like, Two Frays is, if you look at our menu board, like there's one beer at 8%. Everything else is 6 and lower. 50.
And that's what I love about it,
It's a
because
social
like
place.
it's a very
Social
social.
drinking.
You can have more. You can drink multiple beers and get the variety of flavors. It's all very clean, and I don't understand. I don't even know how you make it clean. I don't even know what that flavor what that means. But like when I taste it, I'm like, oh, that like it finishes nice and like it just crisp, but like, yeah, I mean, it just fucks off when it's time to fuck off. It doesn't just sit on there and claw at the back end or whatever. And it's just, and you can have a few of them and get the experience and not like go home completely obliterated. You'll actually remember the name of the beer maybe the next day, or the name of the brewery that you were at.
That's our hope. Yeah, thank you for saying that.
So.
Good.
Dope.
I think we hold the people up. I think they want to taste it.
Oh, sorry. It's getting warm, right?
Fam, you already started.
Sorry.
I'm pointing right to you with your 4th of a glass left. You already started.
I hope we ain't give any more to the one that just like she finished that shit before the podcast. Did you cut her off, Steph? I hope you did. You call the cops.
All right, give it a taste. Cheers. Thank you for being here, everybody.
So what is this?
So this is the Together Better Kolsch. Together Better is the name of the beer because we wanted this to be an everybody beer.
Yeah.
Like from entry, like this is the first beer that everybody tries. It has to be something that's familiar. From going from like macro beers maybe to micro brewery beer, but also something that the beer nerds are also going to appreciate. So it's a well-made, soft, crispy. It's a little bit sweet. It's not off-putting. It's just an easy, everyday 4.5% drinkable, crushable beer. Why
does a Kolsch and like why does a Kolsch taste like a lager?
Yeah, right. Great question. You're asking the engineer for the technical parts of this beer.
You ain't got that written down?
I don't need that. This is my home. This is
He
where
been waiting for somebody to ask that question.
How long you got?
Like his eyes look like Christmas. It was like, what?
So like this is a cold fermented ale. So Pilsners and the lagers are cold fermented lager beers. This is a cool fermented ale. So this is a special yeast that loves to be fermented at like 56, 58 degrees. And Pilsners are at 54, 50 degrees, 48 degrees. So, yeah, this is a cold fermented ale, and it gives you that crispy impression of a lager, but it goes much faster.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense because, Pilsners, lagers, Kolsch's, those are typically introductory, type and lower ABV. And then when you get a really good one, it's really clear, really clean, as we say. I think they calls it a porch beer. This is definitely something I want to drink when I'm cutting the grass.
Definitely. And you'd still be okay to weed whack afterwards because it's only 4.5.
Weed whacking is whack.
Lawnmower beer. I ain't about to do shit. I ain't lawnmower. I'm gonna do this afterwards. Yeah, I mean, this is my reward beer. I'm not gonna drink and then weed whack. That's like,
you ain't doing it right.
You be weed whacking drunk?
I don't like that you asked me that, but what I'm gonna say is, yes.
His lawn is fucked
He's
up.
doing it's not.
Those
His
are
lawn's
the
immaculate.
complaints. Yeah, I mean, like,
His imagination is there. He done cut the Steelers logo in his grass. You did a lot of shit off that. You drinking the cold? What do you drink when you do lawn work? Never mind, you drunk. How you gonna show me can you eyeball that and see what that? I don't know what that was.
He's got crooked lines. That's what he's got in his yard.
Oh, damn.
ooh, off site. Yeah, I mean,
Is it because of the fade? It was like real brown at the top and it faded. It was like it was like a ball fade. Put that up again. It was like the perfect ball fade. It was like an NBA 2K.
Oh, that's a double.
That's the big one. Yeah. So if he's drinking that when he's cutting his grass, his lines are crooked.
Yeah, that's gonna be some things right there.
So wait, did we do another one? Or?
I think the second one. I think the second one is coming around.
Ooh, this is sexy. That's coming out here.
We can talk about it. If
Look
you
at
want.
that.
This can have a little umbrella in it.
So tell us about the color on this one that's coming around. You know what I mean,
I want.
So the second beer we're gonna try it's called the Freeze Tag Guava. So we're all summer long we're gonna do like a series of wheat beers that are fruited wheat beers. And so the first one we did was a passion fruit wheat, and this one is the guava version of that. This is
what's a wheat beer?
So wheat beer is like it's made with Pilsner and wheat. It's very much just a heavy wheat part of the grain bill. 50% of our wheat grain bill is, or 50% of our grain bill is wheat malt. So we use a bunch of wheat malt just to make, and that gives the backbone of like that fuller flavor, sweeter. It gives some sweetness to it, and then but it's also just like still beer flavored beer. And then we put a whole bunch of, there's 100 pounds of guava on top of
100 pounds
this.
of guava.
Yeah.
Where you get the guava from? Like what?
So this
that
is
sounds like some narcos.
Yeah, we get it. Like there's nowhere local we can get guava, so we had to go to Oregon. There's some orchards. I think they're in Oregon, but the Oregon Fruit Company's great. They make this puree, and we buy them. We buy it in bags and just add it to the fermenter after we're done.
From Oregon. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is all narcos. This is all drugs.
Yeah,
That
right.
sound like
You're talking a lot of innuendos.
There's a
Anybody
little
else picking up
airplane
on
that comes
this?
across.
That was a trunk transaction. I feel like, you know what I mean,
No.
that was a back alley situation. Like bringing in the guavas. Like, I mean, bulk. Is that what a guava? I've never had a guava though. I mean, I've never just had a spoonful of
It's
guava.
not a real
or
thing.
slice.
It's a drug. Those are drugs. You've never You've never just had a guava on a plate.
It's never been. I've never had guava pie.
I've been
or
to
anything
several
like that.
countries.
Guava
None of
cake,
them have
like,
guava. You ain't just the only place in Oregon that got this fruit. Like this
Oregon,
is bullshit.
Oregon don't even sound like a motherfucking state that got guava in it. Like, do they
That's
have
what
the
I'm
soil
saying,
for
man.
guava? Like, that don't.
I have no idea where it really
See?
comes from. See, like it could be laced with so I don't think there's any drugs in this. We're going to qualify that right now with the podcast. No drugs. So, but your comment is right. Like no one knows really. Like we don't have spoonfuls of guava like as a table thing on dinner at the lunchtime. So. Yeah, it was sort of an experiment. We didn't know we were really going to, like, we just said, we're going to make some guava beer because it was available. There's a lot of, to go back to COVID. You can't buy everything right now, and guava was there. It was a sweet
Poppy
fruit.
had to work for cheap.
So is everybody served over here yet? We all good? Yeah. Anybody still need a little? You know what I mean, we all good. I see the wife over here. You still working on the first one?
Oh dear.
You catch it. You babysitting. Yeah. You double fisting. We need you to catch up over here. Yeah. Is you driving? Hey, making sure you ain't. Somebody, are you walking? What's going on over here? You got an Uber? Like, what's going on?
I don't trust anything
Double
coming from
IPA
that
over
table.
here definitely ain't doing it. You know what I mean?
Nothing happening at that table is legal.
Yeah,
Nothing.
no,
I don't trust
all.
any of y'all. I don't trust none of y'all.
Nah, not at all.
None. I don't. You haven't said anything. You cool. You got sucked into this relationship. Like, he was like, you liked him, and then he introduced you to his friend. He's like, yo, your friend and his wife? Oh, my God. Y'all already had a mortgage. I get it. I'm sorry.
So,
What do you take?
Cheers. We got cheers, bro.
Cheers.
Bro, this dude don't have no etiquette.
Cheers. So this is for me, it doesn't have, this is not as strong of a flavor as the Kolsch.
got
It
more
feels
of a
light.
soft aroma.
Yeah,
It's
it's very
soft.
soft.
It's
There's
got
a
more
little
of an
sweetness.
aroma, though.
It definitely
Tropical-
is. Yeah, definitely more smell to that bitch.
Tropical fruit.
Yeah.
That funky fruit.
Pretty easy though, right?
Yeah, nah.
Yeah.
What's the ABV on that?
5.1.
Okay, so
That's
still crushing.
That's actually deceptive. Like, I mean, like, not that, and it's weird to say that because like 5 in craft beer world is like pretty low.
It's pretty low.
But like that's a strong ale in England.
Correct.
And
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know, so for the rest of the world, that'll get you fucked up. For us Americans, that's just like, you know, that's a Tuesday afternoon. So it's
Our lives are hard.
right.
Our lives suck.
Heavy as the crown.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Heavy
You must be rooting for the USA in these Olympics. I'm just watching the Olympics. Whoever won. The dude from Italy won. I'm like, we ain't running track and field no more. What dudes from Italy and Canada start winning? I'm like, I didn't even know Canadians ran.
I'm learning new countries, man. We falling off because new countries are just popping up. Like Papua New Guinea just won a gold medal for the first time. It's like, what? When is that? How
I'm
we
gonna tell
let
you
that
the
happen?
thing that blew my mind, and this is off topic, but I just found out when they play water polo that they are not touching the ground.
What?
They like floating the whole. They
in the deep end?
They the whole time they just and they can jump somebody. Yo,
They be up.
fam,
How
this
you
it's
get up
crazy.
like
You
that?
didn't know that, did you? Nobody here knew that except for that table that I don't trust. Did you know that? Did you know that? Yeah, they just treading water the whole time. They all deserve gold medals.
Yo,
Like,
they bottom halves must be thick than a like, bruh. Man, you get out of the. Yeah, I mean, you ever see that with Squidward? I mean, you see the bottom half of Squidward when he was all big. That's how they bottom half got to be looking because to be jumping out the water like that, you got to be a dolphin or some shit. It should be like,
how do you jump without using your
yo,
feet?
I thought they was in the 3 foot.
They've been drinking too, Frays. So you, they've been off that guava. They have a steady diet. They rub guava in their hamstrings.
They out there in Oregon getting it in. Like, let me get some of that.
So look, I know. I think
We got the third.
Oh, there's a. Oh,
Oh, the empties. All right. Let's get
right.
these.
Sorry. We talk a lot. I'm sorry. Sorry. All right, we have another taster, and then we got another guest.
We got what we got.
One
We got
more
2
guest
more.
too.
Well,
Yeah.
two. Oh,
Yeah.
that's
So
cool with me. Shit,
We gotta
I
move.
ain't gonna complain.
You're gonna talk to Marcus, and he is brewer coming into town. Can't wait to hear what he has to say.
yeah.
I hope he gives you his story.
Yeah, I think we messed this up.
Past, present, future too.
So we can't be doing stuff that needs logistics if we're gonna drink. We need like a wedding planner for all of our live casts.
They gotta get
Like,
their shit together.
Yeah, well, it's not. We appreciate you are. It's not your fault. It's always our fault. We can't be walking around saying
I
it's
just
not
want
our
to
fault.
call to attention. This is the first event that we've done since February 2020, man.
Wow.
February,
outside.
We are honored that you're here.
February of 2020.
We outside.
Like, it is. It's wild to be here. It was wild because like we did a sold out show and then the whole fucking calendar got canceled in like 2 weeks. Like we had 6 months of events that was just like nope. The whole shit just and it was wild. Like because like for that throughout the pandemic, I had to learn how to like not pay attention to my calendar. You know how weird it is to be like in May and like your shit go off and be like, yo, you're supposed to be here. No, I'm not. You know what I mean? Boo, you got this event. No, I don't. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just, it was sad. Then January happened and people started to come back and was like, yo, da-da-da. And then you had to go back to using the calendar, but like I got used to ignoring it. So like I would have meetings and then like 3 days later, I'd be like, hey, yo, was I supposed to be there Friday? Like, cause I just ignored the shit.
Reprogramming.
Yeah, I was like, man, fuck these notifications. Now I don't know how to use a calendar, man. Anybody else go through that shit? Anybody else trying to like reacclimate with a calendar and like a schedule and like being places at a certain time and shit? Like, no, I'm just the only one. Y'all gonna leave me out here?
You don't
by my-
have to-
All right.
I don't think you
everybody
have to-
was just
I'll raise my
productive and healthy.
No, you don't have
and
to
just
be
getting through.
anywhere.
All right.
You just gotta be in front of a screen. I had to learn to love my wife. All right, now let me explain that. You gotta love them all day, every day. That's different. That 8 hours that you go to work, that saves your marriage, okay? That keeps y'all together. Y'all both got shit to complain
Right.
about. Y'all both tired. Both of y'all want to eat and shit. Imagine sitting and looking at your wife at 11:43. Like, what are you doing?
Don't
I don't even know you at this time. What is this? I had to watch her. I watched my wife clip her toenails. That's a different experience. I'm like, so this is what they look like before you come back from the...
I mean, you sitting there like, how your day been? You know how my day was. You was here like the whole time. How is that though? How is working with the love of your life? Because you go home, then you go to work. Like, how do you maintain that sanity?
Make rice.
We like each other. Yeah, we make rice. I make. Like so we no. We like. There's still separation
like
of all
other.
this shit. Like I work in the back and make beer, and Jen's mostly just doing the financials and not just. There's no just. Jen is working the financials.
You done started.
All she does is make sure we get
she's
paid
gonna
properly.
flip a table over. Yeah, no. So there's a separation of responsibility, so we don't see each other all the time, which is probably really good because I get frustrated back there and she gets frustrated with what she's doing. And but so like we go home and we can talk about how the production.
We
she's
talking
ready.
about you.
She's here.
We're talking about you.
Cut it. She here.
Whoa.
But it helps that we like each other.
Yeah.
And we can do a little bit. She's giving the little sign like a little bit.
A bunch of beer.
We have the most important thing though, like we gotta get out of this place. Like we gotta like leave the house, leave the brewery, go do some shit by ourselves.
Do y'all ride to work together?
No, we walk. We live like a block away.
Y'all walk together?
We don't.
That's
right.
what. See.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta. There's a separate. Like,
Yeah, you
yes,
gotta
you like each other, but at the same time,
to your point,
there's a separation. There,
I know somebody thought
gotta-
y'all was. One of y'all thought y'all was gonna walk to work together, and the other one had to have that break into a conversation. Listen, you take a long ass time in the shower. We gotta open at 7. Like, what are you doing? I get it, bro.
So you're correct. You
Yes.
gotta have that
You
separation.
don't have to say who it is.
You gotta have Mike time. You gotta have Jen time. You gotta have Ed time. You gotta have daytime.
Yeah,
Daytime.
daytime. You know what I mean?
Damn, I wish I had a cool name. My name
Mike,
is,
Ed.
yeah, but my name is Edward. Like, that is just not getting nobody wet.
You
That is
had a
not
time.
happening.
It was past tense. That's where the Ed comes in. Did you enjoy yourself?
Boop, boop.
You enjoyed yourself.
Ed. Should we change the subject back to beer?
I think all the beers are out there because you said
Are we good?
Did everybody get their beer?
Y'all loaded back up? Y'all loaded back up? All right. Let's get into this next one.
All right, this is our pale ale. This is my beer. I make this for me, and I hope you like it. This is just a.
You gotta have those, right? As a
Yeah.
comedian, I tell jokes that I don't give a fuck if you laugh about it.
for you.
I'm enjoying myself.
Absolutely.
And I'm enjoying myself even if you don't like it, motherfucker.
and you should
all
continue to do that.
uncomfortable and angry.
This is like daytime, Mike time, Ed time. This is like it's for you time, right? It's
Yeah.
for you. So this is it's a crushable pale ale, 5.5%. It's like the holy ghost of whatever, the holy trinity of hops. It's Citra Mosaic Galaxy, but it's got a strong backbone of malt.
that is.
There's some sweetness to it, but it smells great. You get the hop flavor, and it's easy to drink. 5.5%. I can come back to work tomorrow and make more beer. It's a beer I make for myself, so I can get up tomorrow and make more beer.
Why? What is a pale ale?
So pale ale, yeah, good question. Like it's hoppy but malty at the same time. Pale's it's definitely darker than the other beers we've drank. It has nothing to do with the color. It's just a description of some malty backbone, but hops. There's definitely hops there. And like what's different maybe from this one that's not traditionally like West Coast Sierra Nevada. It's more of the more new age 2010
Those
hops.
Yeah.
Of Citra Mosaic Galaxy. You can smell them. It's fruitier. It's still got that old school like bitterness somewhat in there, but it's also fruity and sweet and tropical at the same time.
What's the difference between an India pale ale and a pale ale? Because I can't, man. Everybody, I don't get it.
So brewers are liars, and they will probably tell you.
They be saying shit, man. They be saying shit.
Yeah. So it's all about semantics. Like I could put that. You had a porter here. You were drinking porter. Somebody's going to call a porter a pale ale or an Indian pale ale someday in the future, and they're going to sell shit tons of it because they put the name. It's a name. So like Indian pale ale over pale ale, it's just stronger, it's bigger, it's more ABV, it's more hops. There's a little bit more going on, more body. Mostly, it's just a bigger version of the same thing. But
So it is hoppier.
yeah, well, whatever hoppier is, maybe more. You know, is it New England or is it West Coast IPA? So it's just more of whatever you're trying to do as far as pale ale. If it's New England pale ale or West Coast pale ale, it's just more of that.
I like that you touched on that, like, because it feels like, from my understanding, that like styles are ambiguous, and you can kind of call things whatever the fuck you
Brewers
want.
are liars.
That makes it whatever, and like I guess there's like style guidelines or some shit like that or whatever. There's a book somewhere that like tells you.
Like guidelines are guidelines. You just ignore it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some shit that people just be calling.
Did everybody finish? Because we got to go.
Yeah, I think you can. We try not to do that. We try to be not too style, but we try to fit the rules a little bit to what we're calling it. We try not to lie. We don't want to be liars. We want to make sure we're telling people the truth because honesty is good. But, you know, people call things what they're not, and people label things IPAs all the time, and they're not really IPAs. So, but this one's just a solid pale ale.
Yeah, I'm noticing a thing. But I mean, solid beers that are not high in ABV. So if you're if you happen to be walking in Garfield, you can stop here and get one and still do what you need to do.
And this is another one
fucked up.
Yeah, this is another one like right. You can come here, have one, and continue with your day.
Don't have one though. Have more than one. Let's keep the lights on. Did everybody finish? No, she wants to know the name.
What's the name of it?
Oh, sorry. This is the 2FB, like the number 2FB. So, and it's like a play on our name of like the brewery. So with the Two Frays Brewery, it's TFB, but this is the numerical 2FB, and we don't really describe what that means. So it could be a whole lot of things. We just leave it ambiguous on what the name is. The numeral 2FB.
So it's not ambiguous in the beer; it's in the name.
It's in the right, correct. We're not lying about the beer. We're just not telling the whole thing about the name.
All right, so that's your thing. You walking around calling brewers out on their labels.
I am.
Yo, this ain't an IPA, fam.
Send them to Mike at Two Frays Brewery. We'll talk.
Good shit. So wait, did everybody because Stephanie said we was short on glasses, we were slow on the glasses.
Yeah,
all right, cool. I just wanted to make sure
I was gonna say the next one should be a border because them in them dark dips.
What's up? This is Monty Bahia. Make sure you're on the lookout for my new project Inferno dropping on all streaming services accessible to you. Catch me and the mob performing live alongside 75 brewers at Barrel and Flow, September 11th in Pittsburgh. Details at flowfest.beer.
So we believe the porter we make is called Jen's, and that's my wife's name.
Oh,
it is made for her.
You got to do that. You got to name one after the wife.
We believe Jen's.
That's how you keep the lights on.
Well, you keep the lights on because your wife's happy.
Right.
We strongly believe to make beers for everyone, including there's a lot of people out there who want to drink dark beers in the summertime.
All goddamn
long.
Year. Every day is a stout day for me. You know what I mean? Like now, but I don't understand the difference between a porter and a stout. I still don't fully understand that.
It's ingredients. It's just drink them.
He said that it doesn't matter. You just call it whatever.
You call it whatever. You know what I mean?
Right. So, but it doesn't. But we can make a porter now in the summer and make it like a summery porter. This porter is pretty dry, light. It's only 5%. It's not super heavy. You don't have I think there's a perception of dark beers being heavy and thick. Yeah. And this is not one of them. We had someone come in here and we loved this and we don't know who it was. And if we found out who said this description, give them a 4-pack or give them a case. They called this a campfire beer. It's a campfire beer. It's like a summer porter. It's a drinkable, dark, roasty
s'mores.
Yeah, put it on a
dark outside.
Right. It's a little coffee.
People
like a
start
little bit
revealing
roasty.
shit at the campfire, saying shit that you wasn't supposed to know about.
And you look cool because you're not just drinking another guy's IPA. Like you're not the IPA guy again. Like
what happens in this porter stays in this porter.
I like that.
You gotta hold that. That might be the name of something,
right? You know what I mean?
We may have to make a contract about stealing that.
Yeah,
Not stealing it, using that.
Usually Ed is the one dropping the or whatever. So
yeah, but my price went up. So pandemic hit my pockets hard.
We'll talk. We'll get Stephanie.
I ain't just dropping names all willy nilly, bro. We talk afterwards, but I ain't giving you nothing for free. I mean, I appreciate these tasters, but
nothing's for free.
All right, so what is a summery porter? You mentioned a summery porter. Is that just a lighter?
It's lighter. Yeah, there's not. It's like I think a lot of when we think of porters, they're heavy, they're thick. There's a lot of body, like when we talk about the feel in your mouth.
That ABV is typically you think it's high.
The ABV is boozy too. This is a 5%. So Jen's request was keep it a relatively low ABV, so she can have 2 of them, maybe 3 of them a night. Keep it light so we're not getting full on ourselves, like we're not feeling full. And, but keep it flavorful. Make it a flavorful, like there's malt, there's roast, there's coffee, there's chocolate.
Is that difficult
Coffee,
to do?
chocolate, roast.
Is that difficult to do? Because, again, the perception is the darker beers are higher in ABV. Is it difficult to keep that ABV low and keep that flavor consistent or keep the integrity of the beer?
I think I'm supposed to say yes, but no. No, we can do like this.
If it's easy, it's easy.
Yeah, so that great question. Because like the engineer, bring the engineer thing back. We'll just design for it. We can make anything here. So no, I think from our point of view, when we listen to what people want to drink, we can make that beer. And so Jen's request was a light summer roasty, chocolatey, but not put her on her butt at the end of the night porter, and we made that. And I think we hit this one out of the park.
So we could just request beers
Very
here?
good.
You can request beers.
I got a couple suggestions.
I'll
Cheers. I got a couple of suggestions because...
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that is. Whoo. Oh, that's it. That's the ticket right there. Oh, that it's malty, it's roasty.
Drier finish.
Yeah.
But still get you right here in the nostrils.
Smells like chocolate.
Yeah.
Yeah, it leaves a little bit of coffee, toffee, like chocolate in the back end, like, whenever. And
It's not astringent. It's not hard.
Yeah, it's not like
hurt.
Yeah, it's not like, oh man, like it makes you want more. It leaves you wanting more, right? Like, and that's dangerous. Even with a low ABV, that's great.
Oh, it's
low
like
ABV.
the stripper of beers.
Yeah, right. It's a teaser.
There's a name. There's your name.
Okay, yeah. We all been to the strip club. You be like, this song is over. You didn't even. You just danced to the chorus. I don't know. Maybe I'm. All right, that's just me.
Lap dance is the name of this. Is the name of this porter.
You giving it away, bro?
You're gonna have to talk to Jen about that one.
Call it cinnamon. All right, so
women get lap dances. You know what I mean? You go down to Atlanta. They'll you know what I mean?
Women be the most turned in the strip.
Right?
They be the most turned in the strip club.
They be going hard.
And then you got to pay for it, though.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, she ain't grinding on nothing down there. This is I'm sorry. This is, y'all done had several tasters. We got to move along. Let's move along. Let's get some information before we defame this fine establishment so we can move on to our next guest.
Yeah, so tell us where they can find you for the folks that are listening from home. And where they can find you, and
Yeah. So again, Ed, Day, thank you very much for having us. This is wonderful. We are Two Frays.
You were having us. What are you?
Right.
You guys
I wish I
agreed
would
to
go
come.
to my relative's house, man. Thanks for coming to my house.
This is super humbling that you guys are here. We are super fans, and so thank you for agreeing to come to do this show tonight. It's wonderful, and look at the crowd. It's wonderful. So we are Two Frays Brewery. We're the Two Frays Brewery. We're located in Garfield on Penn Avenue. If you're looking for social media for us, we're at Two Frays Brewery on all those things. The website's twofraysbrewery.com. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. And and if we're super open to feedback. Like if we're ever doing something wrong, or if we're doing something, like it's easy to hear the things that are going right, but if we're ever doing something wrong, or if you'd like to see some changes, or if you'd like to see something different, just ask. We'll review. We'll do it. Yeah, rate and review, and we will respond. We're pretty good about responding to things.
Wait, Mike, we want to thank you for having us. Thank you for having this space. Thank you for having us here, man.
Thank you for being
it's
here.
wonderful.
You're welcome.
The beer is fantastic.
Thank you
very much.
I'm tipsy because we had several.
Yeah.
But it's not because the ABV is too high.
Yeah.
But we do. We have another guest that we got to jump on. So again, we just want to thank you for coming, sitting down, dropping some beer knowledge, letting the folks know to come out here. Make sure y'all support Two Frays, man.
Yeah.
Wonderful establishment, wonderful beer, wonderful people. Support this marriage because they put that on the line for y'all. You put that on the line for
every
entertainment.
day.
But Jenny made you a beer, so my wife can't say I ain't did nothing for her. I just show up like, hey, what's for dinner? So. I'm an asshole. Dave, why you letting me talk so much?
Listen, man, I'm in the bag right now. That porter, very
good,
nice,
right?
very nice.
Speaking of porter, dark beer, dark people, black people, right? This is where we go into on the cast because again, as part of Drinking Partners, one of our missions is to bring diversity to this industry, right? And then with Barrel and Flow, with the podcast, Fresh Fest in the past, events like this, we try to bring diversity to it. And our next guest. Is an embodiment of that, right?
Yo,
like,
yeah, man. Like, so, I mean, and I'll let him tell the story, But I mean, he hit me up, was like, yo, I'm home brewing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what's good with the industry? And now he's fully in this industry right now. And it's super dope. Like, it's just one of the stories that, it's one of those things that when we do what we do, like, we don't always get to see, you know what I mean? Like, we don't always know what's, you know what I mean? And, like, it's dope to have one of those stories where you get to see another brother coming in and, like, we vibing and, like, that synergy or whatever based on the whole situation. So, I mean, we want to bring up Marcus Wyatt to this podcast and talk to him and get to know him a bit more. I mean,
welcome Marcus Wyatt in here, man. And he's wearing the 5s, and that's important. I do not talk to a brewer that wore the 5s. So I just want to compliment him on that, because that's big for me. Thank you. Fist bump. All right, so once we get you seated, all right, they're going to get more beer. So welcome, man. Thank you for taking some time to join us. We appreciate you coming out. And for the people who are not familiar, for the people who don't know, if you give some background on who you are, how you got in the beer, and where you found them 5s. Because I go to GOAT and StockX, and they be overcharged.
StockX is,
they be overcharged.
StockX is a nice site. It's a nice site. I actually got these boys, man. I ordered them. I was first come, first serve on these.
Yeah. You was up late?
Yeah, I was up. I'm on 2 phones. Like, trying to get these boys.
2 phones?
2 phones. You know it. But, yeah, as they said, my name's Marcus Wyatt. I'm originally from Chicago. I moved here to Pittsburgh.
Oh. Shout out to Kalani and Black Tech Nation.
You already see
out here in the building.
I moved here about 10 years ago, and I just got into the brewing game, man. It was one of them things, man. I met a couple people at my job, and every Friday we get paid. We would go out to this bar. So the one night we go out, and I order like a Heineken or something, and it was like the record stopped. Everybody looked at me, and they was like, What you just ordered? You know, like they didn't have that. It was all craft brew, right? So I get a 2-hearted.
Yeah, okay. Classic.
That's what opened me up, man. Was a 2-hearted, man.
That was your introduction.
That took my virginity.
Bell's got a lot of people,
man. That broke that cherry for me.
Yeah, man.
You know, I had the Oberon was my first show. So Bell's with the orange in that, man.
It did it for me. So after that, man, I just jumped into the craft brew. Jumped into it. And then I had been about a year and a half or so into it when I met you. And we actually met at a party through a mutual friend, right? And we sitting there, and I think, like, it was one of them nights, it was a long night. It was like 2 a.m. Conversations was pretty much, I think we started talking about, like, growing weed in the mountains of the Appalachian Mountains or some shit, right?
Yeah.
Like the conversation was
that
wild.
Sounds like a conversation I'd have at 2 a.m.
It was super wild. So it went like maybe a year or so past and we hadn't talked. And within that year, I started getting into home brewing. Because I'm talking to cats and they like, yeah, man, I home brew. And they bringing it into work and I'm tasting it. And I'm like, it's pretty good. And if you could do this, no offense, but I know I could do this.
See, that's the thing, right? That's the exposure. It's like when you see people that like are on your level and you be like, yo, you did that?
Right.
I can, yeah, man, let me shit.
Right, I'm like, yeah, I can handle this.
It's a little egotistical, a little bit. Like you can make this?
I mean, I'm just.
But you be seeing, like, you be knowing, like, look, right. Like this motherfucker wear a bib when he eat. Like, right. You know what I mean? Like,
I can handle this. You know what I mean? So, got into the craft brew game, and then I started to do a lot of research, and then that's when I hit you up, man. I seen that you two actually was like the face of Pittsburgh when it comes to black craft brewers, right? Y'all pushing this message, y'all pushing this out here, and is muchly appreciated, right? Greatly appreciated. So I'm like, all right, let me hit you up, see what's going on, because I hadn't talked to you in so long. And as soon as I got with you, man, you start flooding me with stuff, right? Like, you could do this. Here's a Cicerone test. Here's a scholarship for Point Park, this, that, and the third. Fill out this. And I ended up doing it, right? And I told my story about how and what my goal is with beer. You know, the way I look at beer, man, is there's a couple things you could do in life that will bring everybody together. I don't give a damn where you at. It'll bring everybody together, right? You can play sports. If you're talking sports,
Yeah.
everybody talks sports. I don't care
Right.
what color you are.
Okay.
You talking sports, right?
Yeah.
I'm an avid fisherman. I've been to some very sketchy neighborhoods where I did not think I was gonna walk out, right? But I get to talking fishing, and it's like, damn,
You'd be surprised at who
Right?
fishes. Like
Yeah.
you find out people fish. You're like, you?
yeah. And beer,
I caught a couple flounders in my day.
yeah. And beer in itself, man. Beer brings a community together, especially craft beer, because there's always a conversation. Like we just had, my first craft beer was Two Hearted, right? Everybody has that experience, so you could talk to any and everybody about beer, right? And when I started to do the research on it and look at the diversity or lack thereof, it's like, all right, well, I do know we consume it. We consume a lot of beer in our community.
14% of the sales nationally,
But we don't produce it.
less than 1%.
Right.
Which is typically the story: we consume and not produce.
Right.
That's a whole nother.
So when you see those numbers, and it's like, all right, I know folks personally who have went down the wrong path because of alcohol or whatever the case may be, but were you taught the right way to have? Because if you go over in other countries, man, you go over like England and shit, they drinking at like 14.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a taboo.
Yeah.
It's like you introduce the kids, you bring them up, you say, hey, it's not you don't hide it from them. There's an education, and it doesn't become a thing that like is coveted. Yeah, I mean when you hit that, yeah,
Well,
I mean
it becomes a part of lifestyle. Like when it's a part of your lifestyle, that sounds crazy, but like when it's something that you do it well. And I think we had that conversation recently with Good Blend, where it's just like, you find that more affluent individuals experiment with drugs, for example.
Yeah.
And they experiment with different types of drugs that they're just super taboo. Like in our neighborhoods, it's like, nah, we ain't messing with that. But like people are, you find, I went to Pitt, and you find professionals are using and using certain things, but they're doing it appropriately. They're doing it responsibly. You have people in the health field who take certain drugs, and they do it because they have the information on how to do it, how to maximize its effect while minimizing, its after effect or whatever. So
yeah, we
drink
all
it, it could
we
be
all know the
same.
motherfuckers that when we went to with the college or whatever, we got to that age. And they got that first taste of freedom.
Yeah,
and they was wilding the fuck out because they ain't never,
I love
they
them.
ain't never been allowed to do some shit. And it's like, you had to be in that house by like 7.
I love that.
Like, I mean,
You
like,
come from
you was a
money,
street
they
light
pay
kid.
for
yeah,
all
you
the
was a
things.
street like kid, so you was 18, right? Like the motherfuckers that didn't have any kind of freedom, and their parents didn't instill any kind. And it's the same thing with drugs and alcohol and the thing. And I think with this country, again, having that conversation about drugs and alcohol and our relationship to that is hugely important. You know what I mean? And I think we're making strides, but we're still a long way away from some of the more developed, with the European countries and whatnot.
Oh yeah. So I mean, just researching that and seeing that, it was one of those things where it's like, all right, I really have a passion for this. Like I really enjoy doing this. I enjoy doing my grains and going over this whole process of making the recipe in your head, and it was like, I can do this, right? So I take it to a couple cookouts and shit like that, take it to work, and folks like, that's pretty good. That's all it takes for me, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's all it takes.
That's the chef, man.
Yeah, so it's like, I'm gonna keep going with this. Right?
So for you, what does diversity in this industry, what does that mean to you, right? Because for some, diversity could be this group here. You know what I mean? Just
Okay.
enjoying. For others, it's all right. Well, who's a part of the supply chain? Like, how do we get in on the back end of it? So for you, how does diversity in this industry look?
I mean, on all levels, man. Yeah, I mean, like my man Nipsey say, integrated vertically, right?
And you shout out
On
to
all
Nipsey.
levels.
The rest with God.
When I say that, I mean as I want this to be a segue for showing kids, like, we have this typical thing that in our neighborhoods, man, you trying to take this out their hands, man, take the guns, take the dope out their hands, and it's like, well, you could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer. If they don't want to be in school now, they ain't gonna do school for 8 more years, right?
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
So when you're doing this type of stuff, this is more reality. This is more of a trade, kind of, right? I'm showing you a skill, right? So with this, we're starting from the bottom. I'm showing you a skill. I'm showing you something that's very attainable, right? So let's move from here. So now we got a brewer. If we got a trucking company, I need to get my beer from here to Philly, right? So let's make that more attainable. Let's get these folks involved in this, right? I got a beer distributor that wants to serve good beer, but all they can get a hold of is Miller Lite or whatever. Shout out to Miller Lite. I ain't turning them down.
You don't have to. You don't have to. They wrote us a check. True. You got nothing to do with that.
But I mean, you know, it's just showing a different path in this lifestyle.
And what's crazy is and I say this all the time, there are these skill sets in the hood that people look at and they only align it with one thing. But that skill set, you know, so when you say a trucking company, a lot of dudes enter that market because maybe I got an F on my record, so, you know, I got to do something that'll let me in, whatever. But we like, all right, we got the trucking company, but just like, well, what can you know what I mean? What can you transport? Some of these people, like, we're skills-driven society. It's like, yo, a tangible, like, I know I can do this. This is what I can do. But how do we apply what you can do with your hands, with your mind, to different areas and diversify that? Because the industry itself, all industries are looking for our input. They're looking for our swag. They're looking for our flex, you know what I mean? Because that's what make it pop. So, like, when you look at a Barrel and Flow, you look at a Fresh Fest, it's not that the beer is just great and the beer was great, but it's like, yo, that atmosphere was crazy.
Yep.
And that atmosphere was crazy because we was there, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, take what you have, take what you got internally, whatever, and take it and spread it across whatever.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree.
What have you? So you got in the inner groove. Been working down there. I don't know. Did you start the program down at Point Park with the Cicerone? I mean, the Cicerone and then the scholarship. I've
been doing a lot.
You did everything, man.
I've been doing a lot.
I was like, yo, they got this thing. He was like, yep, I'm on it. And then like,
he like showed you that won the spelling bee.
Yeah, like
like 7 basketball.
Right? Yeah, I mean, like I'm like, yo, this motherfucker's everywhere. I mean, but like, what have you learned? You know, from home brewing, right? So one, what was the first beer that you brewed? And then what have you learned since then from, you know, being in these various atmospheres?
So the first beer I went for was an Imperial IPA.
Yeah.
Like I went straight for the stars, right? I shot
like
straight for the stars.
Imperial IPA.
Yeah,
like a big boy.
I need
like,
something strong. It wasn't good, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But it did enough to pique my interest, right? From there, like I said, when you were sending me stuff, I would go after it. So me and my fiance, man, and God bless her, man, because she did with a whole lot of it, right?
Shout out to the other halves, the better halves, the significance.
Right. She helped me write that letter to take my Cicerone test. And I ended up getting that scholarship. Right? Like, we stayed up all night and she's like, no, don't put that. You don't need to say that.
Write something for me. I got an appeal that I need to.
So she helped me write that, and I ended up getting that scholarship. And it was one of them things, I'm like, all right, this is cool. So, and then when you sent me the Point Park thing, shout out to Point Park, all the professors there, Greg, I forget the other one's name because he was rarely there, but all the professors, all the different breweries that we went to, shout out to them. With the Point Park thing, I just filled out that scholarship. I said what I had to say. I spoke from the heart. And I get an email back saying I got a scholarship for a free course at Point Park, right? And it was a brewing science brewing course. And we went through that 8 weeks. We're actually finishing up this next week. So Wednesday, we had to brew a beer a couple weeks ago. And this Wednesday, we're going to drink it. And whoever wins gets their beer in Mindful.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mindful. They was always my part.
That's kind of dope, man. I ain't know that. Like,
so,
two things stand out from that, though, and I think these two things will resonate with our audience. It's one, your belief in, like, yo, I'm gonna go after it, right? Like, just, you know, a lot of times you get hesitant. You're like, I don't know if I should, or I don't know what they looking for, but it's just like, yo, the closed mouth don't get fed.
That's
like,
right.
if I don't try, it ain't gonna happen. But then it's the second part, and I think is really, really big for us. And so I'm 35, right? So like you don't gotta.
I'll be 36 next month.
All right, so cool. So at that point, right, people
90.
you are supposed to be a certain place. So when you want to try something new, it's hard. You know what I'm saying? Especially you established, you got your why. You know what I mean?
Outside of your comfort zone.
But
and shit?
that belief from your partner. that partnership. That's
Yo.
like, yo, I'm gonna go in on this with you. Like this ain't just you. You're not stepping out on faith. You stepping out with a team. Like this is why we together. And like and shit could come from that. Like positive things. It takes that. And I say that to say like I don't think we leverage that enough as humans.
Yeah.
We always get so afraid to be like, I don't want to mess up what's happening. Like, we got a groove going. We got something happening right now. I don't want to disrupt, so I ain't going to say whatever. But we don't allow our partners to be like, well, look, I'm here for a reason. Like, let me, like, we in Two Frays, like, Two Frays, it's a marriage, you know what I'm saying, that make this happen. Like,
that's right.
And it's a marriage. Like, yo, I'm gonna write that letter for you. We gonna get you in.
Yeah. And also as a people, especially black folks, right? We're told that we're supposed to like get all this shit off the mud, off the hustle, off the muscle ourselves.
Right.
Like we're embarrassed to ask for help. We're embarrassed to say. And I mean, like, I think it's very prevalent in the black community. It's prevalent in a lot of American capitalism, like culture or whatever. But I think different pockets experience it differently, and especially in the black community, like asking for help is like like you ain't supposed to.
Right.
You supposed to know it all. You supposed to, like
it
like
diminishes the outcome.
Yeah, you supposed to just
help.
do it, and if you don't, like for me, that's the thing that I had to learn. That was a skill that I had to learn was how to ask for help, how to network, how to find resources that like I only know what I know. I know my lane. And then finding motherfuckers that have different lanes and can help me to get to that next step or whatever. And I think that you do that greatly. Yeah, I mean, like you've utilized that quite a bit.
Appreciate that.
What is the thing that you've learned? You think like, yeah, I mean, what is one of the things like, yeah, I mean, now that you're brewing beer, that you're like, yeah, I mean, in the beer knowledge thing, what have you learned that you think is like, I'm gonna keep that on the tuck like that?
How you gonna ask him what he gonna keep in the tuck?
One of the biggest things is water. Water profile. Yeah.
So it's
easy.
That's because Pittsburgh water is not good.
Water is huge. Actually, Pittsburgh water is really good for IPAs.
Yeah.
For IPA, okay.
It's good for IPAs.
It's really good to become alcohol. Okay.
Outside of that, I mean, you gotta treat it a little bit.
What if I come from the gym? Is it good for that?
I don't think it's good for that. Water and yeast. Water and yeast was like two of the major things that was really, really major, like big for me learning in the class. Because it was like, with yeast, there's certain temperatures that you got to ferment at. Like Mike was saying earlier, if you go too high, then you're getting off flavors. And you may not taste these off flavors, but the person who brewed those off flavors, and he understands. It's like you taste it, it's like, that's terrible. That's a terrible beer, right? And as far as the water profile, so we all know your best beers come from Germany, right? That European German, and we are trying to mimic that water. So that's why you have certain beers come from certain parts of Europe, and we're trying to mimic that. So like your Kolsch's and all of that stuff, we're trying to get that water. That's soft. That's a really soft water. Here in Pittsburgh, we have more of a little harder water.
No, we have hard water.
It's hard as fuck.
So you're trying you're trying to get this water down to that.
That motherfucking water is gang related.
So with that, I mean, those were the two major things, and behind that would be hops.
So how do you massage that relationship with what you're trying to do and what the water is? Like, how do you manipulate that?
So for me, since I'm still home brewing, distilled water to me is like a blank sheet of paper. You could pretty much add what you want to add to it to make it to where you want it to get it to, opposed to if I use Pittsburgh water, you got to strip this out and put this in. Distilled water is a blank piece of paper.
So what is do you hate beer now? I mean, like, because here's the thing, right? The more you know about something, right? You ever work at a restaurant and then afterwards you start hating the food because you're like, God damn, I had too much of it, right?
Food restaurant.
Yeah, right. Like, I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, and then the more you know about something, right? Like, as a comedian, I don't enjoy comedy the way I used to because I see a lot of comedy and now I'm more of a judge about the shit, right?
Yeah.
Are you more judgy now? Have you lost a little bit of the
She's like, I can't even enjoy this shit.
We go places.
She regrets writing that letter. She's like, I should have never wrote this fucking letter.
We'll go somewhere and I'm drinking the beer and I'm like, This is way too attenuated. Like it's dry.
Well,
she
first
hit
of all,
me and
don't ever
shit.
say that word to me.
Yo, we've been doing this podcast for like a decade, and I've never used the word
I'm telling you,
attenuated.
She done
It's
got
way
dressed up.
too
You gonna hit her with
attenuated.
attenuate? Like she like, what? This ain't even about that.
So I've turned into a real critic when it comes to the beers. But I learned from the best, man. I'm like you mentioned earlier, I'm at In the Groove. So shout out to In the Groove.
How's that experience been, man?
That is lovely. That was a godsend. And I wanted to tell you personally, I truly appreciate that.
But again,
Man.
that's not us. That's Inner Groove. That's you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what is it about that experience? I mean, and what are some of the experiences that you've taken from that say maybe other brewers that are looking to, expand their clientele, expand their workforce.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? What makes that a good experience? You know what I mean? The onboarding that you've had.
So being at In the Groove, one of the best things was when I first started, I started in the front of the house, right? So I was serving beers, I was meeting folks.
That's not what they say about black folks typically. Yeah, I mean, they typically put us in the back and they listen, if you proper enough,
We'll put you in the
right?
front.
Yeah, I mean, but they
And,
started you in the front.
Yeah, they put me in the front, and I was in the front during like that tail end of COVID. So the whole time I had a mask on, right? Nobody knew,
Important.
nobody could see me, none of this, but it
They
was.
knew you was black.
Yeah, I mean, you
Ain't no nobody. He was black. Like, he was getting over on there. Like, nah, bro.
tricked you. But
Bobby.
with that, it's like you have to forge relationships, man. You have
Right.
to talk to folks.
Right.
You have to really get these folks, because folks come in and they like, well, I don't really drink beer. I don't drink craft beer. What do you have? And so now it's like,
Craft
people will
beer.
come in and say, I'm used to Miller Lite. What do you have that's close to that? Because that's what
That's
what we used to.
reasonable. Yeah, that's reasonable.
Right? So you have to explain to them, well, we got this beer. This is what it tastes like. It's a golden ale, this, that, and the third. And by them putting me in the front of the house, it helped with my verbal skills. I was able to deal with people on a more social level and be able to talk, you know?
Well, it seems like it would help you understand the product too. Like I
Exactly.
think all relationships with an organization should start with product knowledge, right?
Yes,
So like,
yes,
because
yes.
that'll help with even if you go into creating the product. Well, I know where this was, so if we're gonna go in another direction, I know where we were here. How can we make those slight alterations? Maybe I don't know the science so much, but just
Right.
what we were pushing for with that. So I mean I think that's a reasonable beginning. And then how do you transition now to the back of the house? So you gain all this knowledge, you're dealing with the people, you've built these relationships. I'm sure the brewery has regulars and whatnot, but you're gonna disappear from this, and now you're going to more directly affect the experience in the sense of, yo, I'm drinking what he's making. So how does that transition go?
So when I came into the brewery, I already told them, they knew what my game plan was. I mean, the ultimate goal obviously is to have a brewery one day, and they knew that. So they let me see. Now I'm more on the customer service side at the beginning. Now let's see the production side of it.
Right.
So they were happy to move me back there.
I heard you've been brewing your ass off over there, man.
We just did a brew today, man. It was a long day today. It was a long day today. But just going in the back and the knowledge that these two guys have, Tim and Kevin is unbelievable. I mean, it's like one would say this and then the other one would say this, and it's like, y'all gotta slow down for a second. Let me catch up, you know. And just learning from these guys, and I'm watching and just listening. It's a great experience to be working with these two.
So now you've worked both ends. You have the aspirations to have your own brewery. What do you think is most important in opening a brewery? Because people will say, people will say, well, it's the beer, and I think obviously that is extremely important. But you could also make the argument, well, the beer's good, but what will separate that full experience? Because then we said it before, that craft experience lies largely into when you come into that brewery. So what do you think affects kind of the success of a brewery more?
I will repeat the words that Tim, one of the owners, told me. And it hit home. He said, either you can have good beer in an okay environment, a good environment, and okay beer. Now, if you can get both, you capture lightning in a bottle, right? Because people come out like what we're doing tonight, right? this is great beer, right? In a great environment.
Yeah.
But there are breweries around Pittsburgh that has okay beer, but an excellent environment. You can go there, you can chill, you can sit, talk, and just have a good time,
Yeah.
right? And then there's places where it's kind of a shitty place to be, but they got some damn good beer. And I'm gonna make that drive to
So
get it.
you be like, yo, y'all canning
Right.
yet?
Right.
Get
Right.
that to go.
So it's usually one of those two is what I've noticed, man. And fortunately for me, I've been in a place where we have good beer and a great environment. So we captured lightning in a bottle, as is they did here. This is a great environment.
Yeah, no, Inner Groove is a dope environment. It's in a part of Penn Hills that you don't necessarily attribute to. Like, Penn Hills is a weird. Like
It's weird. Yeah.
It's like Penn Hills. That's like East Hills.
Yeah.
And
And
it's Penn Hills, that's
Verona is
well,
like the bridge between like the ratchet and the weird ass Oakmont.
Yeah,
like,
you
I
get
mean,
both.
Yeah, you
Like,
get a
right
little bit
there.
of both in there or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
It seems like Penn Hills touches every neighborhood.
yeah, it does.
Penn Hills got like 7 zip codes. It's like, yo, where am I? So now when you say you want to, so you said your ultimate match plan is to open a brewery, right? So like, are you looking here? Do you want to get back home? I know Chicago has a crazy scene. Like, we
Yes.
don't want to lose you here though. So you got to commit to something.
So I own the name. I have a name. I have officially have a
Oh, so
company.
you dead ass. Like, yo, I got a master plan.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
Did you write that too?
Yeah, I do have a name.
This man is dedicated, bro.
Yes, I am. Yes, I
dedicated. I sent him a scholarship scholarship, and that motherfucker got accepted 5 minutes later. I was like,
Yeah, I do have an LLC, and the name of the company is Wendy Bridges Brew.
Okay.
So,
See?
I mean, the story's kind of self-explanatory,
get
but
some t-shirts on that. I need t-shirts.
definitely, when it's coming, definitely. The story behind it is by me being from Chicago,
Windy
City, by me coming to Pittsburgh, City of Bridges, combined them, Wendy Bridges Brew. So, that's the story
right.
behind it.
Y'all slow. Y'all didn't pick that up like immediately. I got a homie from Chicago. He always. I've known this dude for like 13 years. Like Chicago, the Windy City. Like,
And
bruh,
we always say Chicago
at my
better, man,
wedding,
and
dog.
everything. We just always talk about Chicago.
I know you, bro. Like I know where you from.
So that is the ultimate goal is to get brick and mortar, and I want to start here first because I am here. This is where the passion grew,
Anchor,
was here
yeah.
in Pittsburgh. So I want to start here, and then eventually I want to expand to Illinois and have one in Chicago.
Well, look, man, we want a one. I don't know if we have any effect on whatever, or if this means anything, but we definitely wish you the best. We definitely will continue to support. We love to see your follow through. We love that you wrote that letter and you contributed, you know what I'm saying? So we appreciate that, man. Like if folks want to connect and talk to you about your story, or if they want to get out to Inner Groove, just let them know where they can find you. Let them know what beer you brew. Be like, yo, get this first.
Definitely. So the last few beers that's on tap, I have some type of hand in them.
There you go.
So yeah, get on up to Inner Groove. We in Verona and check us out. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, all of those. Wendy Bridges Brew. So yeah, follow me and check me out, man. It soon to come. Like I said, man, I want to hit these different brew fests and everything, and I want to get a following up. And then from there, the sky's the limit. You know.
We know a brew fest that you might be able to get into. I don't know.
Yeah, why
you know what I mean?
don't you tell them
What's
about
that?
it? Because we about to.
Yeah,
They should
well,
probably
I mean,
know
if you're
about
looking
that.
for a brew fest to get into, Barrel and Flow is a great one. You know what I mean? You can find that 9/11. Try to remember that date, all right?
I don't
9/11.
think that's good for branding. You should
I don't
write
know. I'm just, I don't,
I don't know how you
don't
say
want people to
September
forget.
11th because September 11th and 9/11 sound bad.
But if you're looking for
A
us,
month after August 11th.
you can find us a month after August 11th at Southside Works. 5,000 people coming outside. We outside, man. We had less than half capacity for that venue. We encourage you to mask up. We encourage you to fuck off if you ain't vaccinated. Let me just be clear about that 100%. But September 11th, flowfest.beer. And you heard about all the shit that we doing at the beginning of the podcast. And if you're looking for us, you can find us on epicastnetwork.com/partnerspot. You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Libsyn, Google Play, and Spotify under Drinking Partners. And you can find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook at Partners Pod.
Hey, we want to thank our guests, Mike Onofray, and we have Marcus Wyatt here. We want to thank two Frays for hosting us.
Oh,
we want to
yeah.
thank you all
Yeah.
for coming out, man. This is great. This is exactly what we want to see. This is what we try to do. This is what we've been working on.
Shout
and
out
as
to R.A.
always, Drinking
Cole.
Partners is the crew. Epicast is the family. Bear and Flow is the fest, and we out of here. Oh, yeah, the horns. Okay, you back there, TJ.